to this week's very sunny episode of 52 Weeks to Save the Planet. This week we're going to be talking about So this week I'm going to stop buying herbs from a supermarket and I'm going to grow my own. Now, you could grow as little or as much as you like. I'm going to give you 9 fantastic reasons why you should grow your own herbs, and I'm also going to give you some really good tips of how to maintain a herb garden with very, very little effort. So all you're going to need to do... So, reason number 1 that you'll want to grow your own herbs is because it's easy. I don't even know why I haven't done it before. It's like all of these things, I just don't think of it. You know, I really like gardening, so it's a no-brainer. Herb, meet the pot. That's it. There's nothing else to it. It already came planted in a pot. And look, yay, make the world a better place. No. If you're feeling particularly brave, you could even take a herb out of the container and put it into a new pot. And you really can grow them in anything. It's easy. Watch this. There really is no bounds to my skill level, is there? Planting your herb in a pot is a good idea because then you can move it around. If it gets too hot or it doesn't like it where it is, you don't keep having to move the plant around. It's not going to disturb the roots, and you can just move it to a more shady spot or a more sunny spot, or whatever time of year it is. If it becomes the winter and it just needs somewhere a bit more sheltered, you can move it. So planting your herbs in a pot is a really good idea. Obviously it's going to cost you a bit more money to buy a pot if you want to buy a pot, or you can just use stuff you've got around the house like I have. And yeah, it's just gonna be easier to manage the survival of your new herbs. The next reason is because herbs and their flowers in particular attract bees into your garden. The bee population is dwindling. They do need our help as much as possible. Anything with a purple flower is irresistible to a bee. So chives, borage, thyme, anything with a purple flower, or any flower that's not these kind of like double kind of flowers. They're just like single open petals that they can get into and they can feed from, are a definite win. There's less packaging. Buying your herbs from the garden centre, you're just going to get the pot. None of this plastic rubbish, and then a bag to put it in. Just no! Stop the plastic! You'll get a lot more variety of herbs at a garden centre than you will at a supermarket. They will cost you more buying from a garden centre, around £4 a pot, compared to £1.25 in this particular supermarket per pot, but they will last longer because of the conditions that they're grown in. The herbs from the garden centre are more hardened off to the elements, so they're more likely to survive. There's just so much more choice. Here is some lemon thyme alongside just the normal common thyme that you'll find. Here is some variegated sage and also some purple sage, which is really nice. And one of my personal favourites is purple basil, which it just looks awesome. You can put it in a gin and tonic, or you can put it on your pasta, and it just looks amazing, as you can see. Yeah, so one of my favourites that you wouldn't find that in a supermarket. Of course, you could grow your herbs from seed, and that would be a much cheaper alternative because you only pay about £1.50, £2 for a whole packet of seeds. But me personally, I've just never had that much success, so I just prefer to buy them. If you really want to make your herbs last a long time, pick things that grow back year and year again. This is a bay leaf, You can buy them very small. This is obviously quite a large one. I've had it a long time. You plant it, it comes back year after year. It's really hardy, and you know, you can pick it in the winter and in the summer, and it's a really good plant. The same with rosemary, also fantastic, grows all year round. You can pick it, and again, it's also good for gin and tonic. Are you seeing a bit of a theme here, I think, about why I'm actually want to grow herbs? Now, this basil is actually from a supermarket, so it is slightly cheating, but you can make this last a lot longer by just taking the very top leaves when you take any basil that you want. If you've got a few plants on the go at any one time, they'll grow back within a week. So you can just rotate your cuttings. You know, don't take them any further down than where the true leaves are. Can you see here? You've got a little set of true leaves. The first set here, you can see already, look, there's a little sprout coming out. Can you see that? There's a little sprout coming out of these leaves. So cut just above, and then you've got your cutting that you can eat, and then the rest of it will carry on growing. So when you water it, just put a tiny amount of water in the bottom of the dish. They like to be watered from the bottom up. Give it half an hour soak, and then tip the water away and just put it back in the pot. You can grow this inside, outside, easy. It's even possible to have a lifetime of supply of basil from one plant. So take a cutting, take it fairly far down the plant, but leave obviously a few leaves at the bottom on the stem, and then you need to leave, see where those little nodes are at the bottom where the leaves come out of. If you plant that into water, take the leaves off and plant it into water, and a root system will grow from those nodes where you're taking the leaves out. Sit it in water for a few weeks, and it will grow a brand new root system that you can then plant on into a pot, and you can keep repeating this process again and again and again, and it will give you brand new basil plants from each cutting, and you'll never need to buy another basil plant ever again. So here is my finished herb garden. As you can see, I've got a bit of a selection. I think it looks great. It smells really nice. And yeah, it's going to really entice me to want to come out into the garden even more. So that's the next reason, is just because it looks really nice. So here I've got some purple basil, which, as I mentioned, is one of my favourites to grow. Tarragon. This is garlic chives, which has a bit more of an oniony taste than normal chives. Are really nice. This is lemon thyme, which again, it's just nicer than normal thyme because it's got a bit of a lemon tang to it. I've got some curly parsley, flat leaf parsley. Another great reason is that you will always have herbs when you need them. You're not going to need to go anywhere. If you suddenly decide that you need some lemon verbena or you need some basil, just come out into the garden and get it. That's it. When you grow your own herbs, you only need to pick exactly the amount you need, and you don't end up with lots left over that you're just going to chuck in the bin. And I'm going to grab some quickly. Always just take from the tips so that the new shoots behind can grow. It's really good to take the very top straggly bits of your herbs off, because they're trying to go to seed, they're trying to flower, which you want to avoid because it will make some of these more delicate sort of leaved herbs, they'll just go bitter and they won't taste nice at all. And just by trimming them down and taking the top leaves off, it's going to encourage it to become more bushy, and you're going to just get a better, healthier plant. And the final reason is because they're delicious, not only in food but also in drinks. Take some lemon verbena leaves. I've got quite a few sprigs there. Add some hot water, not boiling, just so that's been steeping for a few minutes. Just take the leaves out when you feel like it's had long enough. Should be, you know, 5 minutes I suppose is probably plenty. Yeah, so that's basically it. That's the tea. You can just let it, you can have it warm. You could add some elderflower cordial, which is super nice, or if you're feeling really cheeky and you've got some Saint Germain, I've actually run out because I've drunk it all. You could add some Saint Germain and make it into a cocktail. Yum yum yum. So that's the end of this week's challenge. I hope I've inspired you to try and grow your own herbs, and maybe even try something you haven't tried before in a completely new way. So have a good week, and I will see you next time. Cheers.